I'm Guthook, and I like pizza. Doodle-doodle-doodle-doo.
Gary.
That's it.
Okay. Oh, can I talk about something else then?
Depends.
We haven't started yet?
Depends. Well, it depends. What is it, and how long is it going to take?
It's about my visit, and it'll take 2 minutes. To the doctor.
Let's say
you want to tell us about your doctor's appointment?
Yeah.
You do know this is stories from the trail, right?
All right. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Trail
I thought there was a pregame. See, I thought we could put this in a Patreon.
Yeah,
everyone can know about my.
Yeah, look at the time, Daniel.
I'm sorry. I'll let you go. Okay, I'll shut up. I'm sorry.
Puck drop is at 7:00. We've got a streaker on the ice. Somebody tackle this guy and get him off.
All right, I'll shut up. I know I can take a hint. All right.
Welcome to Stories from the Trail, everyone. It's been a while since we've done this. We took a couple of weeks off for trail days and to get caught up on our huge editing queue, and now we're back at it. It's good to be back. It's fun. Let's go around and say who's here real quick. I'll just say hi and let people know who they're listening to. I'm Gary Sizer, trail name Green Giant, one of your hosts.
Hello, everybody. I am Reptar, also one of your hosts this evening.
Okay, so no pressure, but I think for next week we need to develop either taglines or catchphrases or something. So no pressure. Like you have to say, "I'm Reptar and I like pizza," or something. I don't know.
I'm Guthook, and I like pizza. Doodle-doodle-doodle-doo.
Gary, I have something that I sent you. Are you going to use that?
Yeah. Okay, I will. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll get that ready while Megan.
You were talking about it.
Yeah, while Megan's
Hey, Daniel,
introducing
before
herself.
you completely derail this,
Sorry.
hi, everyone. I'm Voldemort. I don't have anything else after. I mean, I don't have anything good right now. I like
And
hiking.
she doesn't sound like she's in a warehouse
perfect.
anymore because I fixed it.
Yeah, because Guthook fixed it.
I really appreciate that.
He broke it to begin with because it's his laptop. So,
All right, so here's something. Here's how we introduce Daniel from now on. I hope this is the right one. Let's see.
Daniel Fitz. HappyCamperRadio.com.
That's a real that's a real thing.
it's a real
Hi,
topic.
everybody.
It exists.
Yeah, I don't know how many people know this, but Daniel is actually one of the co-hosts of another show that's about camping, not necessarily about hiking. And the guy who produces that show has it's a real high budget production. Like they've got a studio with a green screen and multiple cameras and all sorts of
It's
things.
not a blanket fort.
No, so they hired some like musicians and like they did this
Daniel Fitz.
Oh my God.
for Daniel.
How much do I have to pay someone to sing my name and play some music? I don't think the show.
I'll do it for a pack of rum.
If you
send
want it,
you
Megan,
5
Skip
packets
will do it.
Okay.
I don't know that I want to hear my name sung, though. I don't know how I feel about it.
Okay, I'm done derailing the show.
We'll see.
Okay, I'm serious. I'm not going to do that to you. I'm Larry David.
That's right. Ha! All right, cool. So a lot's happened since the last time we all hung out, and what we're kind of recreating here in our Discord this evening is the gang that was at the dinner table at Trail Days a couple of weekends ago. Unfortunately, minus Reptar, who couldn't join us, but yeah, we all went to Trail Days. I was there. Voldemort was there. Daniel joined us, and we hung out with Guthook quite a bit. And Guthook was gracious enough to join us here this evening. And you heard him there saying that he likes pizza. Hi, Guthook.
I don't know about pizza, actually. I just said that because you did.
What you been up to lately, man? What's been going on the last 2 weeks?
He said oops because he didn't unmute his microphone.
I'm eating dinner.
So you fasted
no, it's just been
for 2 weeks.
busy. Same as while I was at Trail Days, except in the frozen north. Oh, I went up to do my trail maintenance on a section of the AT in Maine, and I ended up post-holing through 5-foot drifts of snow for 2 miles.
Holy mackerel! What section was that?
It's between Saddleback and Sugarloaf. And I met a very, very unhappy couple of 2017 through hikers who were finishing their 2017 through hike and thought that middle of May would be a good time to come up to Maine without checking the snow conditions first.
Oh.
And it was pretty cool. I mean, I had a good time. My legs are still like scratched up like crazy from all that.
Oh, from the post-holing?
Yeah, it was exhausting. I was fully asleep at 8:00 when they showed up. Oops, sorry, muted myself because I am eating dinner and failing. Yeah, I was fully asleep at 8 p.m. and some people walked in and woke me up, and I was all groggy and acting like a crazy person.
Okay. Which is different from your normal persona in which ways?
You know.
Okay, so your legs are all scratched up from post-holing and dragging your legs through snow and ice. We're starting to get our legs scratched up down here because it's blackberry season.
That sounds nice.
It is. Yeah, we're all walking around in shorts and chacos down here. The downside to that though is that it's also chigger season. You guys have
ew.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I don't know if anybody actually heard me say this, but ew.
Yeah, we heard.
I just want to repeat in case anybody missed that. Chiggers are disgusting, nasty little creatures, and I will douse myself in permethrin before I let them eat my flesh.
Sounds like you know a lot about chiggers, Megan.
I know enough to be getting like goosebumps right now and to have like a small amount of rage burning inside me just thinking about it.
See, I can't decide if that means it would be a good idea or a bad idea for us to go into an in-depth conversation about chiggers.
I think
not it.
that for the audience at home, you should explain what a chigger is.
I feel like that's appropriate.
Okay.
But I don't want to do it.
You don't want to
so
be the one
not
who does it? Reptar, what do you know about chiggers?
That they're not pleasant.
They're definitely not pleasant. Okay. All right. So there are some rumors about chiggers. And I'm looking up some stuff here on the internet so that we can actually get some facts.
That they're alien spawn that were sent to Earth to torture humans.
Yeah. So they're also called berry bugs, apparently.
But don't eat them. They don't taste good.
No. All right. Well, here's a good picture. All right. I'm going to put a link in the chat for us. All right. So this is probably my least favorite outdoor pest. Oh, I don't think it's going to give us the picture unless you actually click on the link. Yeah. Chiggers are like, man, they're barely the size of a grain of sand. And they're those red bugs that look, they're the same shape as a tick. You know, like they've got that, like light bulb shaped body with comically tiny legs that come out of it, but they're so small you almost need a magnifying glass to see them. And they just love warm, like warm, dark places, especially foldy places, like the crook of your elbow or, you know, the fold behind your knees or like the crease of your crotch is a very popular place for chiggers to do what chiggers do. And they'll find their way into your clothes. They'll climb up your leg and get into your sock and climb down into your sock. And now here's the part that I'm a little bit unsure about. And that's why I fired up the internet while we were paused there for a second, is I don't know if they actually like latch on the way a tick does or if they just bite you and then that makes it itch. But when, if you walk through a field that has chiggers in it, by, maybe 12 or so hours later, is when you'll notice their bites. So it's not like mosquitoes. You don't really feel them. You can't smack them and like, oh, I've got chiggers on me. Like you never know they were there, which is probably what makes them even creepier. You find out like 12 hours later because you start itching like crazy. And when you pull down your socks or pull down your pants, you just see, it almost looks like you have the measles, just so many red dots all over you. And you'll scratch until it bleeds. Like you will literally, like, it's weird because it feels good to scratch, like it's almost orgasmic. You just don't want to stop. But at the same time, it doesn't bring any relief at all. It just itches so bad. And you'll scrape off the tops of them with your fingernails and they'll bleed and it'll get infected. And then you'll develop cellulitis and die. So, watch out for chiggers.
Don't get cellulitis. That's no bueno.
So I think what you're supposed to do with chiggers, and I'm going to start by telling you what I remember just anecdotally, and then I'm going to fact check in real time, unless anybody in the chat room or on the line knows for real. But I
might be on the internet right now.
I've heard a couple of different ways for how to deal with chiggers. Obviously, you can prevent them the same way you would prevent any other outdoor insect like ticks, permethrin or, DEET, whatever. The barrier method doesn't seem to work so well against them because they're very good at crawling into your clothes. Like even if you're wearing pants tucked into your socks, they'll still find their way into your ankles. But once they've bitten and you've got that itch, what I was always told, because we used to get these are really bad in Camp Lejeune in North Carolina. And when I was in the Marines, they would tell us to actually go ahead and scratch it until it bleeds, because that opens up the bite. And then while it's still open and bleeding, take either rubbing alcohol or hand sanitizer and just smear it all over the open bites. And they told us that the reason that this is a part that I think might be bullshit, but they said the reason that works is because the chigger is actually still under your skin and that kills it. Now, I don't think that's true, but I do know, at least anecdotally, that would make the bleeding, or it would make the itching stop. So
it would make the bleeding begin.
Yeah. And the other thing they told us to do, and this is ridiculous, especially if you have a lot of chigger bites, was to coat them with nail polish, because that would apparently deprive the chigger of oxygen and kill it. But of course, all of this hinges upon, does the chigger actually burrow into your skin? So
I found an answer for that.
What do we know about that?
So what I know is that, of course, the reason that chiggers bite is because they're like ticks. They're feeding on humans. But once they feed on the human, they drop to the ground and become nymphs and then mature. But the itching typically happens once the larvae detach from the skin. Okay. So once they've been fed, they drop from your skin, you start feeling them, and then they go off and live their merry little lives and reproduce.
So you're just an all-you-can-eat buffet.
You're an all-you-can-eat buffet, and you don't really know or feel it unless you see them. And you can't see, because chiggers are so tiny, they're not like a tick. A lot of ticks, you can, even if they're really small, you can see them. Chiggers are really hard to see unless they're in clusters. You'd have to use like a magnifying glass in order to really see a single chigger on your leg. But you won't know it's there until it's already had its fill and dropped off. Whereas a tick will stay on for such a long period of time that it will become engorged and very large, and you might feel it, and it might become like the size of a large mole or something.
All right, cool. So, does learning facts help you be less ooged out by chiggers?
Yes, actually, information calms me.
You're very much like a Vulcan in that regard.
I don't know what that is, but I think it has something to do with Star Wars. Star Trek?
You get half a point for Star.
Get out of my house.
Oh, wow.
All right, guys, I got to go. Bye.
Nice knowing you. Guthook, want to co-host a podcast?
Only if we talk about Star shows.
Star blank. Star whatever. Are you more of a original series or next generation Star Trek fan?
Oh, actually, not much of a Star Trek person. I'm a Star Wars prequels, and then after George Lucas got his hands back on them, it is all dead to me. All of it.
Oh, okay. So you're just into like 4, 5, and 6, and none of the other films ever happened. Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you could also the same. You could say that the same. Sorry, let me try that again. You could say that also by saying my childhood was raped and pillaged.
Oh, by hopefully not by Tusken Raiders who march single file to hide their numbers.
Well, that's fine.
By George Lucas and his prequels.
Actually, before even like before Greedo shooting first and.
Whoa! Hold on, hang on a second. Okay, that was actually going to be my next question. Was what's your stance on Han shooting first versus Greedo? But
Greedo shooting first ruined everything.
Oh, okay. All right. For a second there, I thought you were falling on the side of Team Greedo. And
oh god.
Okay.
I have no idea what either of you are talking about right now.
Oh, thank you, Reptar. I'm glad it's not just me.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Green Giant and I are going to go into the other room and nerd out for a while. You guys just wait here until we come back.
Yeah, we're talking about some of the most important dilemmas to ever face mankind here. So who shot first, Han or Greedo?
Captain is correct. Han shot first. Otherwise, his whole character is way less interesting.
Well, and George Lucas himself has been seen in public sporting a T-shirt that says so. So I think we can.
Well, then why did he screw it up and cause the whole problem in the first?
To make money. That's why.
Yeah. I guess the other thing is what's worse. Greedo shooting first, or the really stupid music video in the stupid remakes of, or stupid update of Return of the Jedi.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah.
You may think this isn't actually a story from the trail, but
a
very important discussion from the trail.
Yeah, I was going to find a way to bring that back around and ask if you ever, like bring movies with you on a hike. I know there are some people who put stuff on their phone. Okay, well that was a dead end. Let's...
Actually, I'm gonna mute myself because. Sorry, I muted myself before I finished my sentence.
Because
I'm just gonna go in the back room and scream obscenities.
Oh no. Yeah, we just connected on a very nerdy level there, and I'm kind of happy with how that turned out.
I'm sorry, I can hardly hear you over Guthook in the background screaming obscenities in another room.
Good thing I fixed that audio input, or else you all would be able.
I was going to say, we don't really have any stories to share from Trail Days other than that Trail Days was fun this year, because like this was the first year in about what have I been going for about 5 years now, and I think this is the 5th one, and it's the first one that I've been to that I haven't basically that I haven't had to work, because I usually have a table in the author's tent. And you're just kind of stuck there for the whole weekend. Obviously in the evenings you can go out and, go to dinner and hang out with people, but you kind of miss all of the festivities throughout the day. And I made the conscious decision this year to just not, we're just not going to do that. I thought maybe we were going to get some recordings. I brought all of the recording equipment with me. We had our microphones, and I even had it in my backpack with me the whole time that we were walking around. But, honestly, what wound up happening was probably about within 2 hours of being there. I saw Voldemort, and, Daniel was there, and I ran into Zach Davis, and, like all these other people, like Jabba was there, and everybody was just like hugging and high-fiving. And, we just got caught up in the whole like family reunion style, vibe that event really carries with it. And it just, I don't know, it felt weird for me to like at any point bust out a microphone and be like, hey, do you want to do an interview for the show? It just, I don't know, it felt almost out of place or intrusive to shove microphones into people's faces at Trail Days this year, even though there were other people there doing it, with their GoPros on sticks and whatnot. And I don't know, I just didn't want to do that this year. And I'm glad that I didn't because, I floated around from booth to booth and I hung out with Guthook and the gang for a while and hung out at the Trek booth for a while. And we stayed at Crazy Larry's and that was a good time, right? There was some fun there.
Was it crazy?
I was going to ask the same question.
Yeah. Hey, Daniel, if you're still on the line, I'm kind of surprised that Larry's not here tonight because he was, or is he? And I just don't see him. No, I guess not. Because he was.
Maybe he thought that we just quit the podcast.
No, because he was commenting on Facebook today. He saw that we were doing this, but.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, but I was going to ask Daniel if he wanted to gossip about Crazy Larry for a while, if he's still there, but.
He's probably chopping vegetables.
Yep. Yeah, but it was a good time. Daniel and Deidre set up their tent in the backyard at Larry's. Katie and I set up our tents back there too. On the middle of night number 2, my air mattress deflated and I wound up just like laying on the ground. So I came inside in the middle of the night and just grabbed like one of the empty rooms. And I guess Larry didn't know I was in there because it was the room that he had to walk through to get to the bathroom. And he came through in the middle of the night and I was laying there and he wasn't expecting me. So, he kind of freaked out a little bit, but not too much. But, we had a couple of... We actually had a couple of other people hanging out at Larry's too. And, we just built a fire in the backyard and sat around that and just, hung out and had a few beers and told stories. And it was interesting because you could hear trail days happening on the other side of Damascus. Tent City makes a lot of noise. Miss Janet's bonfire and drum circle goes into the wee hours of the night. And, from Larry's backyard, we could kind of hear that all as a din in the distance, but it was nice to experience a more relaxed and intimate trail days this year, just hanging out, in somebody's backyard, with about 8 to 10 people at most. It was a cool experience. Guthook's putting some pictures in the chat right now. There's Voldemort with a puppy at trail days.
There were so many dogs at trail days, and
that's really the only good picture of Voldemort with puppies that I got. There was one other that was almost a good picture, but it's not good enough.
Not good enough. Was it the little tiny puppy, like the one that fell asleep? That one?
I didn't get a picture of that one.
Oh God, that's what I mean. There were so many dogs there, guys. For someone who doesn't have a dog but really wants one, it was heaven. How was I supposed to record when I had to touch all of the dogs? See, silence. There's no way.
No, you can't.
There's no way I could have done it. Nobody has an answer.
Anytime I wanted to hijack a conversation that Voldemort was in, I would just be like, "Hey, Megan, look at that dog."
Worked every time.
Oh, we saw Fiddle and Jim this year.
We did see Fiddle and Jim.
Speaking of dogs, he's got a dog with him this year.
Yeah, another dog that I ran towards loudly. But I actually think I greeted him before the dog. Well, I gave him a hug before I pet the dog, which is very rare for me. Normally I go right for the dog, then the person second.
Well, remember how he made his appearance this year, too.
What do you mean, just like walking in behind the tent?
No, he emerged from the river like a...
that's right. Yeah, he emerged from the... Whatever that river is back there by the Creeper Trail.
Yeah, he... What is the name of the river that goes through Damascus? I feel terrible for not knowing that.
What is it?
I'm going to look that up.
Guthook says it's Beaver Creek. I trust him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would make sense. Because that's the logo on the Damascus Brewery.
Oh, yes, that does make sense.
Wait, what was that?
That was Guthook's really loud burp that I'm pretty sure you heard through my microphone. I'm sorry. He's sorry.
I thought somebody slammed a door.
I am definitely not sorry.
All right, so believe it or not, I actually do have a couple of things that I have on an agenda that I want to get to, and I'm just kind of like loosely bouncing around from small topics until we get there. But Reptar, I wanted to talk to you for a minute, man, because you are on a ticking clock now, aren't you? Like you're real close to your start date, right?
Yes, indeedy.
Like less than 2 weeks?
Man. 2 weeks, I fly out.
How you feel?
The sense of overwhelming angst that comes with any through hike. I've got that going on, and I just bought a new jacket from My Trail Co. About 12 days ago, and have yet to hear anything back about that.
Uh-oh.
And apparently they're experiencing some shipping issues. So, cutting it close. Still haven't gotten like a couple of the things that I need that are supposedly coming to me. So yeah, I'm just kind of sweating it out over here.
Is that like a showstopper? Can they change the address if you have to leave before it arrives, or is this crucial to your start?
Well, I bought a new puffy because the one that I have has lost all of its puff, and I know that there's still snow up there. I was just looking at photos that people were posting.
Record year, right?
And the little lake up there still has ice on part of it.
So it's been a while since we've gone over the specifics. Do you mind giving us a recap of what you're about to get into?
Yeah, so in 2017, I hiked from the Mexican border up to Echo Lake, South Lake Tahoe. And because it was kind of late in the season, because we slow rolled it through the Sierra, I flipped up north and went up to the Canadian border and hiked south back to Crater Lake, Oregon. So this year I'm just going out and doing from Echo Lake to, I'm actually doing the whole state of Oregon again, just because why not? Ending in Cascade Locks, and I will be there for PCT days this year.
Okay. And what are your dates? Like, when are you expecting to be back? How long are you going to be out, I guess, is my question.
I took 3 months off to do it.
Oh, man.
I don't know if it'll take me that long. I hope it doesn't. There's a possibility that I might, finish and go hit the Wonderland Trail or something else. I don't know. It's still kind of up in the air right now.
Man, I'm so jealous. I've never. Well, I was gonna say I've never been out there, but I haven't been on the PCT specifically, but
I haven't hiked out west at all, and I am very, very jealous.
So
I'm going to be living vicariously through you.
You gotta go.
I know, everyone tells me that.
Unreal. Yeah, the mountains put the East Coast to shame.
Yeah, I was trying to go to PCT days this year just to kind of get a taste, because I haven't even stepped foot on the PCT. So, but unfortunately, I can't take that time off. But maybe someday I'll do a little section.
Reptar, what's your plan for your navigation on this hike?
I'm sure Guthook will like to hear this, but
no pressure.
No, I'm using the AWOL PCT guide now.
What?
Yeah, no, that doesn't actually exist. No, I'm using Guthook.
Nice. And you have experience using Guthooks? Did you use that on your previous hikes?
I used the AWOL guide on my AT hike, but I heard about Guthook when I was on the AT, and then I bought. Gosh, I forget what her name was. Super well known writer out there, but I'm just drawing a blank. Wrote a guidebook for the PCT that I got, and I ended up I'm not a fan of carrying books with me, so with the AWOL guide I had the PDF version, and then I took a bunch of pictures from this other guidebook I had, but then I just ended up getting Guthook because it just made way more sense.
Is there
Yogi? Yes, 2 taps in chat. Yogi. Yeah, I bought Yogi's book, which was actually it was gifted to me, but it was her book cost $40 or $50, man. And if you're going that route, I mean, no offense, Yogi, but I would just go get a Guthook guide if all you're looking for is a guidebook.
Right. So I was going to ask if you're planning on meeting anybody out there this year.
Yes, maybe. I've got a friend out there right now who's hiking. Like, he basically lives on the trail every summer, and he's out there right now with a little group of people, and we've kind of been coordinating when I'm going to be back on trail and where he's going to be. So yeah, Marble, I will see you, hopefully, my friend.
I know last time we talked, you said that you were working a bunch of hours and overtime to get ready to finance this trip. But have you found time to actually get out there and sleep in the dirt for a while? Do any shakedowns?
Not at all. Does
that make you nervous?
I am totally underprepared for this.
Yeah. How's that make you feel?
I'm nervous as hell, man. I've been living at sea level in a blazing hot island for the last year.
Wow.
And I think the first day of the hike, I'm going up to like 9,400 feet.
Oh, man. Yeah. Like from zero, that's going to hurt. I'm not trying to scare you, but...
Yeah, so that'll be a slow rolling day, yeah. I'm guessing.
That's not too bad, I guess. I mean, like 10,000 is like right where it really starts, like the fog starts to set in, meaning like, the effects of altitude.
Yeah, I've never experienced altitude sickness, fortunately. I did a bunch of 14ers out in Colorado, but yeah, fortunately it's never affected me. It never affected me when I was on the PCT the first time, and fortunately I'm like at the tail end of the Sierra range pretty much.
Right.
So
you're in shape though. I mean, you're not just like sitting around. Right? Like
no, I am not in shape at all. I have been sitting around stuffing my face.
So this is going to go very, very well.
Yeah, so stay tuned for those YouTube videos of a man suffering if you're into that kind of
thing. Yeah, I think, are we going to start a new YouTube channel, like Third Chance Hiker, Reptar hits the trail to gain 200 pounds?
Yeah, no.
Wow,
okay. It's funny because of the current shape that I'm in, I thought it would be kind of a fun experiment to kind of document this. So what I've done is, being that I work at a hospital, I took, my vitals, like my blood pressure. I looked at myself on a heart monitor, so you can see, what my heart rate's looking like, as well as like weighing myself, just so I can kind of compare and contrast the effects that being, I wouldn't say like totally out of shape, but not in great shape versus when you're done with a hike. So I think that'll be kind of neat to see.
Are you documenting any of this film wise? You bringing your camera equipment with you?
Yeah, for sure.
Like I assumed, but I didn't want to assume.
Yeah, no, I'll be finishing shooting the PCT documentary that I started. The PCT Experience, I think, is the name that I'm still going with. There was kind of a brief period that I thought about changing the name to something else, but for cohesiveness, I'm just going to go with that. But yeah, I'll be filming it with my DSLR, and also doing, YouTube video updates with my cell phone and stuff like that. Instagram, all that good stuff.
You're gonna call into the show occasionally? You're not leaving us, are you?
Yeah, man, for sure. I'm definitely gonna try to, if I got service, man,
I assumed
I'll
that
be here.
too, but I didn't want to make too many assumptions. Like, you're already doing a lot of work out there, man.
Yeah,
I think we're all making the assumption that we're going to hear how horrible time you were having, being so out of shape and all.
Yeah, I really look forward to that first week, like checking in. I don't know if I'll have service, but when I check in, you'll hear all about it, I'm sure.
I don't know, man. If Corey can call in from a blizzard at the top of, I forget what pass that was.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the standard has been set. You know, the precedent is there.
Yeah, he braved a blizzard for us, so I gotta step it up.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
We'll take like occasional, you know, if you want to just take a couple selfies and just send them to us, we'll also be okay with that as well. You know, to post on our Instagram to show just how miserable you are. Because, you know, someone put in the chat, hiker Schadenfreude. So there's that. For all our sadistic listeners out there.
I'm sure I am going to have an absolute blast. You know, it's always kind of tough getting back out there the first week or so, but then after that, you know, you'll
have the time of your life.
Become a machine.
Oh man, yeah, this is going to be interesting to watch. I've got so many questions. Do you have? Can I ask you? I know you love talking about gear. Do you have any? I know you're waiting on. You said you're waiting on your new Puffy to arrive. Do you have any new, like a new piece of gear that you're bringing with you that you're super excited to try out that you haven't had a chance to use yet?
Or
even something that you have had a chance to use it. Just what do you, piece of gear you're excited for?
Actually, yeah, I got one of those new Sawyers. Sawyer sent me one of their new, what is it, like Sawyer Mini, I think it's called.
Okay.
I forget it somewhere around here, but yeah.
The Sawyer Mini as opposed to like the standard Sawyer?
Yeah, well, okay, so there's like this, I think it might be called the Micro, but there's like a Sawyer Squeeze, which is the big one, and then there's like a Sawyer Mini, which is the one that has kind of crappy flow through it.
Yes.
And then there's like a half size version of it that, yeah, I think it's the Micro.
So it's going to have horrible flow is what you're saying.
No, it's going to have the same flow as a Sawyer Squeeze, but it's just half the size. So.
Oh, so you mean like in between the Mini and the Squeeze?
Yeah, so like the filter itself, the way that it's like the width is the same width as the big one, but the size is just condensed into half of the size. So.
Well, dang, I gotta get me one of those.
Yeah, I saw it at the outdoor retail event a while back. Like they were just releasing them, and I was like, "Oh my god, let me get one."
I had a big issue with the Mini. I had a Squeeze, and I broke that one. I ended up with a Mini for a brief period of time, but that did not work because it was just too slow, and I'm impatient when it comes to being thirsty and wanting water.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people have that issue with the Mini. I never used one personally, even though I have one. But yeah, like filtering water sucks as is. So
you think?
That's true.
I'd rather get it over with as quick as possible if I'm going to filter it at all. You know?
I was trying to find. And I'll put this in later because I'm having a hard time concentrating and looking things up on the internet. But Travis and Daniel and I made a video on the Foothills Trail comparing, I think this was a Sawyer Mini with the Katadyn Bee Free. And we put that up on YouTube, and I'll find that link and I'll put that in the chat and maybe the show notes. But yeah, I was going to say you're going to have a hard time getting Reptar to say anything other than good stuff about Sawyer products if they're sending him stuff, right?
Oh no, man! I totally will shit on a company if I don't back their product. Like,
okay.
If, like companies send me stuff, like I have no problem, and I've actually had like a couple companies drop me because of that. Because I'm just like I'm not gonna put my name behind something I wouldn't rep, you know.
Right.
Like I'll try it out, but I'm not gonna be your poster child for a shitty product. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say in this video, we were just comparing the flow rates, and the Bee Free is so much faster. I think we did a side by side to fill 1 liter bottles, And I think the one coming out of the Sawyer was maybe at 20% when,
We're here with Daniel and Travis to demonstrate the two popular water filtration systems. Daniel here on the left is using the Sawyer Mini. Turn that around so we can see the logo. The Sawyer Mini, which we have attached to a smart water bottle because the bag that comes with it is 16 ounces and we get more capacity out of the smart water bottle. Travis has the Catadine Be-Free. Turn it around so we can see the logo. And they both use basically the same technology. It's a micro filter, and we're going to compare flow rates whenever you guys are ready.
Let's do this.
Daniel's really squeezing that thing too, and you can see. All right, Travis is already going for a second refill here.
Yeah, at least as far as flow rates, it's faster. I can't say much comparing like the lifetime of the bags that come with them, or like any other things, like how long does it take for the lid to snap, or durability testing takes a lot longer. But just quick side by side flow, the Be-Free was so much faster. Having said that, I think we've got 4 Sawyer filters here in the house, Katie. Yeah, we're a Sawyer house too.
With the Be-Free, can you screw that directly onto a bottle? I'm just not familiar with it.
No, you can't. That's the other thing, is they've got proprietary threading, so you have to buy their bag too. So I think that's the other.
That's weak.
Yeah, or it might squeeze into like a platypus bag, but I don't think you can put it on the end of like a smart water.
Okay.
And again, I'm speaking purely from memory. I need to fact check this. I could be wrong.
Okay, so it's like a day hiking thing, or weekend hike kind of thing. I could see using one of those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we took it on the foothills. We were only there for like 3 days, 2 days, whatever. But yeah, that's Travis's go-to filter.
I just see Captain in the chat saying that I never liked the issue Sawyer bags. I swapped one out for the Canuck bags, or the Canuck bags, which I met that guy and he's really awesome. So while I wouldn't use one of those just because it's not really my style, they are incredibly durable and really good quality, and the guy that makes them is super cool. So if you're on the fence about trying one, yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to Canuck or Canuck.
All right, cool. So you're taking your Sawyer. What's your
FYI, I talked to the dude at PCT Days last year also, and it is called Canuck, but I don't think anybody will ever, pronounce it correctly in general.
Yeah, because it's what is it, Gaelic or Scottish or
yeah.
something?
Gaelic, I guess.
Oh.
He's Irish, sort of, I think.
See, the way it's spelled, I was just thinking it was an acronym for something, CNOC.
Yeah. If you're gonna sell something in the States that has a name like that, it's gonna be CNOC, regardless of what the proper pronunciation is.
Oh man! Oh, I missed the opportunity to make a joke there. I could have said it was Klingon. Canuck.
Captain Clambeard says it's military.
Oh yeah. Oh, no, that's the military in me is always looking for those TLAs, 3-letter acronyms.
Yeah. I know TLAs.
I know.
Oh, wait, I'm supposed to be on mute because I'm just screaming obscenities.
Well, I don't know that you need to be on mute the whole time. I mean, you're kind of like, the rest of us are always here and you're never here. We actually kind of want you to say more stuff.
Wait,
say more things, Guthook.
I do have a question for people who have used the Enoch bag as a Sawyer.
And what is your question, sir?
how long have you been using them, and have they not had any trouble? I've found that getting a good amount of pressure from them is not as easy as the Sawyer bags, but maybe that's because I'm actually babying it a little bit more than the Sawyer bags, because I have a lot of replacement Sawyer bags because I expect them to bust eventually.
So Earth King Boomy in the chat says he's been using his for a few months, but he doesn't squeeze his bag. I guess do you hang it upside down and let it drip?
Me?
Yeah, Boomy, gravity.
Yeah.
He uses a gravity feed rather than squeezing it. And, squeezing
I'm
the
all
bag
about
is...
the violent filtering.
I want my water now.
I don't have time for gravity.
I'm busy, damn it. Star Trek is on.
I agree, but minus the Star Trek portion. I need my water, and I need it like every day. I actually used platypus bag that I got from, I think it was at Neil Gap at the Outfitters there. And the platypus bag worked really quite well, even with some very intense squeezing. And I mean, like, I assumed the position. Like, I was kind of squatting and had the bag up against my abdomen, like upside down, and was like really yanking at it. Like I was trying really hard to burst it.
You were trying.
She's miming this out as she's describing it.
With a mango in one hand.
She's attacking this water filter like she wants its lunch money.
I did. I wanted all of its lunch money.
On the note of water bags, I think it's kind of widespread that Sawyer's bags are kind of bleh. The platy bags, while are awesome, they do have like the threading issues with the Sawyer, but I just tried out a new bag called Evernew. I don't know where they're made, but I got it shipped from Japan, and they thread seemingly well with the Sawyers, and yeah, I'd give it a thumbs up.
I heard about those ones actually while hiking. There was a guy who was hiking around. Gary, you might remember him. Bones? Remember Bones?
I sure do.
Yeah, he had an Evernew bag. I wonder if maybe, I think he might have had an extra. I might have ended up with an Evernew bag. So maybe I should scratch the part about platypus, because maybe it was actually an Evernew bag and I just couldn't remember.
Either way.
But those work well.
Okay. How about now? Is that good?
Gary, is this too close?
All right, here's what
my microphone is in my mouth. Is this too close, Gary?
All right, stop goofing around, guys. Trying to do a show here. All right, so this is a show. All right, this is a contest. It's also a show, but we're going to do a contest. We're actually going to give away. We're going to give away
Wait
something.
for your dad off.
Yeah, okay. Reset, Gary. All right, no, we are going to give away something in the chat tonight. Well, we're going to try to give away something in the chat tonight, because we're going to make you listen to something and you have to guess what the sound is that you're hearing. And I'm going to give a little bit of background information before I play the audio clip. And even before I do that, I'm going to tell you what the prizes are. But what we're going to do is I'm going to play the sound clip. People listening in the chat, everyone gets one guess. So you're going to get one guess, and if no one gets it right, we're just going to leave this in the episode and have people email in their guesses. But if more than one person guesses, we'll pick randomly somehow from, if there's more than one correct guess. So it's not going to be, first guess gets it, so you don't have to be super fast. You'll get a couple minutes to think about it. But everybody who wants to play just gets one guess. All right. So here is what we are playing for this evening. This is something that's been sitting in our prize bag for a while. We picked this up at the AT kickoff back in March. And this is one of two large prizes that were given to us by Paul Fickner from Etowah Gear. And what I'm holding in my hand right now is what's linked in the show notes and in the chat here is an Etowah Gear ultralight sill nylon tarp. This is 8x10. It weighs 13 ounces, and this is basically the same material that you would use for the, either the rainfly for a tent. So this is a fully contained, basically ultralight minimalist survival shelter. And I put a link for this in the chat. This prize is worth $85.
That's it for that thing?
Yep.
Man, that thing is sweet.
Yep. So yeah,
I have to go buy it.
And Etowah Gear is a niche gear company in the Southeast. They're not huge like Gossamer Gear or some of the other ultralight gear companies that you've heard of, but the products are 100% just as this is the same material. It's it's the same material, handmade in a factory by someone who really knows what he's doing. So that's going to be our prize tonight. And what we're going to ask you to do is I'm going to play a sound for you, and this is a sound of an animal. Okay. Well, I'll just say it's something alive. It might be an animal. It might be a bird. It's probably not a human, but it's some kind of living creature making a sound. And this was recorded in Western North Carolina in the Pisgah National Forest at the end of May. So I'm telling you that in case if that helps you narrow down the species. So it's probably not a monitor lizard, for example. Okay. So let me go over to my file here. All right. This is called Mystery Sound, and it might be a little bit quiet at first, but I'll turn the volume up, and it's going to play for, a few minutes. It's a long recording, so you're going to get to hear this thing for a while. And all right, so before we get to the animal sound, tell me if you guys can hear birds and crickets.
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so at about 30 seconds in, we're going to get whatever this thing was. Those birds are wood thrushes. Okay, that's 30 seconds. Oh, there it is. If you know what it is, don't say it out loud.
Oh yeah, I know what that is.
Can you guys hear that all right? All right, I'm going to give it one more go. And whatever it is, it's got the dogs going. You can hear dogs barking in the background. All right, so we got a few people guessing in the chat here. So Guthook is the only person to guess rhinoceros. That is not correct.
That is definitely the sound that a rhinoceros.
Definitely not a hippo. So actually there's a bunch of guesses that are coming in right now, and at least one of them is correct. I don't want to say which one it is in case other people still want to make guesses, but I'm going to give it just a couple more minutes. All right, so I think we've got everybody who's going to guess is going to guess. And Two Tap says it is the sound of a swallow carrying a 1 pound coconut. That's another deep
African or European.
There, that's it. I knew Guthook would get the nerdy reference on that one. That's a Monty Python thing. All right, so that is the sound of a fox barking. That's a fox. So think about that cute little pointy nose and those triangle ears and that fuzzy.
They're so adorable until they sound like they're about to murder you children.
Yeah, right? Like, it's awesome when you're camping alone in the woods at night and hear that.
Yeah, so that's a fox, and I know that not only because I looked it up, but also because we saw it with our own eyes.
Oh.
Yeah, so Katie and I actually made that recording in our yard. I was just going purely for the bird calls. I just wanted to have, sometimes I use bird songs for backgrounds when I do like the end credits and stuff on the show. And I was just out there just recording the birds. And it was, just after dark, like dusk had just turned to dark. And I mean, I wasn't expecting, whatever the hell that is. It freaked me out, man. And, I didn't know what it was until I came inside and we Googled it and we were playing around with the sound, sounds on the internet and we figured it out. And it wasn't until the following night that I was out in the yard just looking at the stars. I had my headlamp with me so I don't trip over anything. And I heard something move behind me and I shined my headlamp at it and I could see two yellow eyes. And it wasn't close enough for me to see the actual fox itself. So I still didn't quite know what it was. And we do have coyotes and we do have wolves around here too. So immediately, like I went into like, oh shit, it's an animal, it's taller than a raccoon. Oh, and it's jogging toward me, So I kind of did that thing where you like walk backwards really slowly. And I got inside we call it the compound because the house has got a fence around it, to keep animals out. So, I closed the fence and I was like, we've fortified the compound. The zombie is held at bay. It was just a fox. But it was really cool. He's got a big fluffy tail and he's been hanging out in our backyard for about a week now. And he's up, just like up on the hill behind our house and he serenades us every morning and it's lovely.
He serenades you with that. Beautiful.
Yeah, Megan, instead of a dog, you should get a fox. Wake up to that every morning.
Oh my God. I've actually looked into getting an exotic pet like a fox or a descented skunk or a raccoon. I think we might have talked about it on the show at one point. But yeah, that's not legal.
That's right. When we were talking about you wanted to decorate your microphone with like a big furry something that you could
That's
pet.
right. Yes.
Yeah.
All big furry thing.
So what I want to do now is I'm going to scroll back up through the chat and I want to see how many people got that correct. I need somebody to help me out with this. So we've got, let's see, Bill is 1, Earth King Boomy is 2, Captain is 3, and then I thought there was one more. I thought there was a 4th person who said fox. Oh no, somebody says, what does the fox say? What does the fox say? Remember that song? All right. So I think what we need to do is we need to find a way to randomize from these 3 people who wins the prize. So, Guthook, you're good at math and like game theory and things like that. What's a good way for us to play, a randomization with 3 people other than just guessing number?
Type into Google random number between 1 and 3.
Oh,
wait, hang on.
No, I was hoping that you could come up with a more clever way for us to award the prize than having them guess. Like pick a number between 1 and 3, but all right. So let's do this then. I am going to Guthook. I'm going to message you a number. We're just going to do this the way we did last time. Let's see.
But you didn't message me a number last time.
I know we were.
Guthook clearly doesn't listen to the podcast.
No, he doesn't. All right, so don't say it out loud. I think it was Green.
Oh.
It was Fozzie actually was the last person we had.
Fozzie.
Yeah. So just say whether or not you see the 2-digit number that I just sent you.
Maybe you should send me a different one.
Why?
Because you may have almost said the number that you.
Well, no, because I'm going to say it's a number between 0 and 100. So it's either 0 to 99. So it's like the roulette wheel. And we're going to have all of our participants guess what the 2-digit number is. And we're not going to play Price is Right style. We did this last time. And then somebody,
I've never actually watched Price is Right.
Yeah, you can, there's a way to game the system where you just bet $1 because it's whoever can get closest without going over. So then, Whoever guests last always just guests $1 and it pisses everyone off. So we're going to say, within absolute value, plus or minus however many, who gets closest to the 2-digit number that I just whispered, Guthook. And Captain has guessed 69.
And number 2 for poop.
All right. And then Clambeard says 42.
Captain and Captain Clambeard. one of you is going to have to fight for the title of captain.
Yeah, and to make things even more complicated now, Clambeard and Earth King Boomy both guessed 42. All right, so here's how we're going to do it. So, Bill, you're eliminated because your number is too far away from the number we're looking for. You're going to get a consolation prize, so stand by. And now it's down to Captain and Earth King Boomy both guess again and don't pick 42. All right, so we've got... All right, so the number... Guthook, do you want to say what the number was and then say who won based on their guesses?
Wait, whose guesses count?
Right now we're going between Captain and Captain Clambeard.
So either way, Captain is going to win.
Yeah, and Earth King Boomy is guessing as well, but I'll tell you right now he's out just because he's not closer.
Oh yeah, Captain wins. It was 23.
Hooray! So I should have had a sound.
I was going to try and draw it out even longer.
I should have had a sound ready. Here's a fox.
Lost track of what
Here's
I
a
could
fox screaming to congratulate you.
I will say, having now heard what a fox actually says, those guys in the song weren't that far off.
No, they weren't. All right, so congratulations to Captain who wins the prize this week. Send me a message on Discord or an email or get in touch with me somehow to let me know your mailing address, and we will get you this prize from Etowah Gear. We're going to do one more. How about that?
One more giveaway?
We're going to do one more giveaway, and this one is not. This one's not going to happen tonight. We're going to announce it tonight, and everybody who's listening tonight, a lot of the people who are here are already in on this and just didn't know it, that they're already entered in the contest. And everybody who is listening tonight has the opportunity to get a slight head start on the people who have to wait 3 weeks for this podcast to come out. Are you confused yet? All right. So
3 weeks?
That's, yeah, we currently have 3 shows in our editing queue right now. We were up to 5 at one point, which is why we took 2 weeks off. But so we're trying to get caught up. And if you guys, speaking of getting caught up, I need another 30 seconds to get the link in the chat. Someone sing us a song.
No, we're going to make everyone listen to 30 seconds of silence.
No, don't do that.
How do you play audio on this thing from...
I don't think you can.
Oh.
I can.
Oh, Gary can.
I was going to say, 30 seconds of fox screaming.
I was going to say 30 seconds of what is...
Whoa!
Oh my God. Wow. Coming in a little hot there, man.
Jesus.
Sorry, that was my fox interpretation. I moved away from the microphone.
Man, feed this girl half a cup of tea and she goes crazy. she's a lush.
You see Captain in the chat. Sing us a song, Voldemort. Take it back. You never should have asked.
Okay, hold on. I'm still looking for this.
Reptar, let's hear your fox impression.
Oh God, I don't think you.
What does
you that?
Your fox?
Nice.
You need to get closer to the microphone.
Like a dying parrot.
Okay, so I don't have the link for this, but I'm just going to describe it to you because it's very similar to the one that we just gave away. This is another Etowah Gear. This one, I'm reading from the label here. This is an Etowah Gear multi-use survival tarp. And this one's 5x8. It's camo green. And this one comes with 6 stakes and 50 feet of cord. So this one has a little bit more than what the other one does because this one's fully self-contained. And hold on, there's more. This is going to be a big contest. This one. Okay. So this one comes from we were parked right next to, was it Justin and Devin Guthook? Do you remember the guys from Good to Go? I think it was Justin and Devin. They were.
Wow, you remembered that really well, and I wouldn't. if you hadn't said it first. So, yes.
So
that was Justin and Devin.
And that may be a leading question. You know, I may have just put those answers in your head. But if you're not familiar with Good to Go is a backpacker meal. They're really good. And I'm going to read to you what it says on the back of this meal here. It says this on the back of every pack of Good to Go meals. It says, seriously good food. You'll be surprised at just how delicious this meal tastes. This is not a salt pile or space food, promise. Just all good and delicious. And they put that in all caps. And their recipes are really neat. Like they have like a mushroom herb risotto and some really good pad thais and like curries. The one that I've got right here is kale and white bean stew. I think this one might actually even be vegan. But it's similar to Mountain House in the way they're prepared and packaged, but they take a little bit longer to cook. They take like 20 minutes sometimes, and they put neat things on their instructions. Where does it say in the back here? It says things like, stir and reseal, hang out for 15 minutes, think about how big the universe is. You know, it's just neat little fun things like that they throw onto their packaging that makes them, you know, more fun, even though it's the food that's really the best part about it. All right, we got a few more things. This is like a big prize package that we're putting together here. I also have...
can we also mention that Good to Go is out of Kittery, Maine?
Oh.
Because Maine produces some really awesome stuff. And people.
You should say that one more time because it's important to know, but your microphone cut out.
Oh, that Good to Go is produced in Kittery, Maine, because Maine produces awesome people and things.
That's true.
Also Guthook.
Oh.
And myself.
Ooh, burn.
Ooh, self-serving.
I was just going to say, you did just note that you burned yourself there too.
Wait, how is it a burn? I thought that's self-serving.
You said Maine produces good people you said good people and Guthook and myself, as if you weren't part of...
No, I meant... I should have said such as... Oh.
Also included in the prize package. Let's see. We've got a ferro rod fire starter. This is 0.6 ounces if you're into the whole ultralight thing. We also have an ultralight compass that weighs in at 0.2 ounces. It's basically just like a little dish with a north-seeking needle in it. And then we also are throwing in, this is a big prize package. We're also going to throw in a pair of Darn Tough socks. Compliments of... compliments of
what size?
Oh crap! They're on the other side of the room. Actually,
color?
I have 3 pairs. I've got a pair of men's large 10 to 12, and then 2 low cut. I think one is I guess these are women's because they're pink and because it says women's on them. Maybe your feet are shaped differently. I don't know. And then the other one's another low cut.
No, it's just because they're pink. It's stupid.
Yeah. Where are these?
Captain Clambeard in the chat wanted to correct you. It's not pink. It's coral. Thank you, Captain Clambeard Clambeard. I can't talk. Thank you for that, though.
So yeah, we've got a variety to pick from here. We've got both men's and women's. We've got a big pair, a small pair, and if your feet don't wind up fitting, then we'll figure out a way to get you another pair of socks. All right, so we've got this huge prize package. And here's how people are going to get themselves entered to win this thing. We're going to do this via the show's Patreon page, and we're going to do a raffle style. And everyone who is currently a patron who supports the show at the $5 level or higher is automatically entered into the drawing. And if you are a supporter of the show at the $5 level, your name goes into the hat 1 time. If you're at the $10 level, your name goes in 2 times, etc. for the various multiples of $5 increments. I think there's only 5, 10, and 25. And to make things even more interesting, what we're going to do is, so if you're currently a patron, your name is already in the hat. If you were a patron in the month of May, whether you still are or not, if you were during the month of May, we're going to put your name in the hat again for that month. So that gives people who have been supporting the show for a while a little bit more of an advantage over the people who are going to hear this and possibly join as the rest of the month continues. At the end of June, we're going to see who's currently on Patreon. Your name goes in the hat based on how how long you've been supporting or based on what level you support at. And then we're going to do a drawing, and that person is going to receive everything in the prize package that we just described here. How did I do explaining the way that works?
I think that worked. That was understandable.
Yeah, sounded pretty solid.
It did.
Cool. All right. And speaking of Patreon, the other thing that we did during our 2-week hiatus was something that's needed to happen for quite a while, was getting caught up on sending things out as rewards to the people who have been so graciously keeping us on the air quotes. We've sent out a bunch of stickers. People who support at the higher level finally got boxes of goodies that have been, waiting around for a while. I just want to say, thank you guys for thanking us, I just want to say thank you guys for, helping us keep doing this. And, every time we get the opportunity to give back to you, we will. So, when we go to events, like trail days or PCT days and vendors, send us home with boxes and bags of stuff. I want to give that to you guys, for helping support us. So this is it's a two-way street. So if you're new to the show and if you like what you hear and you're interested in helping us keep doing this, you can do so by visiting patreon.com/stories from the trail. There are ways to get in for even $1. And I'm going to reveal a life hack right now that, is something that maybe if you're a cheapskate and you want to game the system, here's how you could get something from us, with minimal effort on your part. At this ridiculously low $1 level, one of the things that you get is early access to all of our episodes. If you're hearing this on your phone as it releases on the regular feed, there are probably 3 or maybe even 4 shows right now that you haven't heard yet. And if you join Patreon, you immediately get caught up. So if you just want to get a quick fix of Stories from the Trail, you can join, get all those episodes, and then cancel your subscription immediately. So for $1, you get, 4 new episodes of the show. That's, 25 cents an hour for entertainment. At those prices, for hourly rates that cheap, you could be running your own sweatshop in Indonesia, but instead you're paying people to sit in a blanket fort and tell you stories. So think about doing that.
So which one of those two things is more entertaining?
I'm picturing like Daniel cracking a whip as, like Reptar is hunched over under a lamp, like.
I was envisioning Daniel in his underpants sweating bullets, man.
Yeah, one of those visions went very dark and the other slightly disturbing.
Ooh.
Which one is which?
Yeah, I don't know if anybody really wants to envision Daniel in his underpants for any reason.
I'm going to pass.
Yeah, thanks for that mental picture there, Gary.
You're welcome. All right. So, we are actually really close to our end time, and I think
so well.
Yeah, I think we're doing all right. We still have a few minutes left though, and I kind of want to do something with those minutes that, I feel like we really have no choice. I feel like we have to do this. And
we always have to do it.
Yeah. And am I right?
Everyone knows where this is going.
Am I right in recalling, or is it my imagination that we didn't do this last time that Guthook was on?
Oh, no, we didn't. I don't think we did.
I don't think so.
What?
And maybe
he's totally lying.
Yeah. So, Guthook.
Huh? What?
Yeah, Guthook said in the chat that he doesn't have any of these particular stories, and I know for a fact that he's lying.
Okay. Wait, what did I tell last time I was on the show?
Well,
or the time that I introduced you guys to the Bristol scale.
Oh, yeah,
the work of genius.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, how can I forget that? Yeah, like one of the ultimate.
Yeah.
Okay.
How could we forget the Bristol?
The most important document in the history of documents.
Yeah. Okay. Well, after all that build up and then such a disappointing, I'm just gonna completely cut that out unless.
Yeah, just cut that out.
What?
We're just gonna wipe that from.
We're just gonna edit it.
No,
it never happened.
We're gonna wipe that.
I don't know. It looks like Bunny's got some interesting things going on with his poop.
That's
a disease, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That little emoji of a dancing poop, flashing dancing poop.
Okay, so how about we do? Why don't we do this then? since Guthook basically gave us the all-time classic masterpiece of, not only a poop story, but like literally the scale by which we will measure all future poop stories. We'll let him pass this week. But
wait, did I tell us a poop
LOL,
story?
let him pass.
I remember that we spent like 20 minutes, like tears streaming down our face talking about the 7, like we went in depth to each of the 7 levels of the Bristol stool chart.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about.
Hang on, I'll help you out again.
Poop. But I guess that really wasn't a poop story, was it?
I mean, that's 7 different stories.
It is.
Right there.
It wasn't very personal, though.
No. That does not count. That does not count. I want to hear stories of Guthook like running down trail trying to find a bush.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to find a what?
A bush to poop behind.
A bush.
Oh no, I don't poop behind bushes. I only poop in the woods.
What are you picturing when you think of bush?
Wait.
Oh god.
What are you talking about? That's like right behind the trail.
This just went really south.
Telling you.
Oh my goodness.
The mental images coming from this show, I'll tell you.
I didn't even bring this up this time. You guys brought it yourselves.
Yeah, we did. Let's see. Who else can we put on the spotlight?
Voldemort.
On the hot stool tonight.
Voldemort.
I've told so many poop stories on this show.
You could,
like if my boss ever finds this podcast, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the hot stool. I'm pretty sure that
that's a good one. The hot stool.
Yeah.
Where is Daniel?
Yeah, I think he's chopping vegetables. Yeah, Reptar, you got any poop stories on deck?
Any more poop stories?
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I think I do. I got another one. So
excellent. Don't leave us hanging.
I was.
Who's hanging?
All right. So I was. This is back on the Appalachian Trail, and I was in Virginia, and I had just started hiking with a girl that I was smitten with at the time, and
doing some pink blazing, Reptar.
Yes, indeed.
Quickly turning brown.
And well, just wait for it. So then we're hiking down the trail, and all of a sudden, it just hit me like a bag of bricks. It needed to happen, and it needed to happen ASAP. And I don't even think she knows that I did this. But so what happened is I pretended that my cell phone was on and that I had service and that my dad was calling, and like she just needed to go ahead quickly because I was really embarrassed about the fact that I was just about to crap my brains out right there on trail if she didn't get out of there in like 2 seconds. So yeah, I pretended to have a phone call and proceeded to sprint into the woods, and I don't even think I had time to dig a hole. That was a bad one.
So you faked a phone call?
I faked a phone call because I
in the middle of the woods, Reptar, on the Appalachian Trail. You faked a phone call. You did the thing that we all do to like get away from someone we come across on the streets that we've known for a while, but we don't really want to talk to them. Like you did that, but in the woods.
My mind was not working adequately at that moment. I was like, oh my God, I've got to crap so bad, and I can't have her know that I'm about to have explosive diarrhea. We just met, Yeah.
Voldemort, you'll experience it someday. Maybe when you're older.
So let it be known, ladies and gents, if anybody ever pretends to have a phone call in the middle of the woods, they do not.
There's no phone call coming in.
I have a quick poop story. Yeah, that actually.
Is it a story that is quick, or was it a story about a?
Well, it's a little bit of both. It's a quick story about a quick poop, and this was on probably just like an overnight or a weekend trip with my buddy Travis at one of these places where we go hiking and camping so many times I can't even tell you how many times we've been on this trail, at least 20. And, I got up in the morning to go do my thing, and I walked away from the campsite with my coffee cup in hand. And, like a good camper, I'm trying to do my best to disperse my waste. I've used this campsite many times, and part of my habit there is to walk off in a different direction every time. You don't want to overuse the land, and you certainly want to dig up last week's poop. But so I just picked a random direction that I'd never walked in before, and it was the time of year, it was summer, so like the mayapple was up, and like some of the other taller weeds, like the milkweeds. So picture like this flat open field that's almost like chest high, with like sparse vegetation, like a few thin saplings, but mostly like tall weeds. So your visibility is like maybe 50 feet, once you get into the crouch position, which is where I was when I saw a pair of eyes looking at me. And it was pretty far, far enough away that I was thinking like, okay, I can't really tell am I catching a reflection? Am I imagining this? And, it was early enough morning that it was still kind of, not full on sun yet. And I was like, okay, no kidding, that really is a pair of eyes. And I'm immediately going into like panic mode, like, okay, pinch it off and get out. Doesn't matter what stage of the process you're in. When something sees you pooping, leave no trace be damned. I'm not going to get eaten while I'm in the woods. So, I just real quick, grab my stuff and I'm trying not to startle whatever it is, but I'm also trying to I got to stand up and my pants are around my ankles, and, fortunately I hadn't started yet, so I didn't have a mess to clean up or anything, but I was definitely pants around my ankles when I realized that those eyes belonged to a person who was one of those bushcrafters who instead of camping at an actual campsite, this guy just went out into the middle of nowhere and just gathered leaves and branches and shit and built himself a little hut and was just sitting there thinking oh, I'm going to have my morning.
Are you sure he wasn't a fellow bush crapper?
Or that he could have been a cannibal? You could have been either way. That guy could have been a cannibal.
Oh, entirely, yeah. Yeah, but that was really unnerving because at this point, we're still far enough away that what do you say? Oh, hi. You're sup? What do you, there's still that thought in my mind, maybe he didn't see me. No. What do you do? I just shat. I just shat in someone's front yard, basically. How do you gracefully? I don't know. So I
don't pretend it was the first time you were shitting in someone's front yard.
Well, no, there was that time that the plumbing was out and we needed to. No, I know for a fact there are turds buried somewhere in my yard. I just don't know where they are. Katie told me that one time when our electricity was out and she had to go, she just went out and dug a hole in her. We've got a lot of land, so she can, shit away. But I know for a fact that's Katie's poop story.
How romantic.
Yeah, the couple that shits together stays together.
Right.
Hey, and on
so that's what I'm supposed to do when I go on dates. Got it.
Wow. Swipe. Megan doesn't swipe. Megan swipes neither left nor right. Megan swipes front to back.
That's so good.
Both bad and good.
Oh god. Oh. I cannot top that, guys. I am out of here.
Nope, that was it.
Do we know what we're doing next week? I know we're doing something. We just don't know what.
I have no idea what we're doing next week.
Everybody's homework is to shit in their front yard, apparently.
And then tell us about your experiences on shits from the trail. Who knows?
That would be real interesting for me, since mine is basically a sidewalk that leads to the street.
Just don't get arrested. Like, we don't need
you. Need a jackhammer instead of a trowel.
Hey, leave no trace. You gotta bury it.
The deuce of spades won't quite cut it.
All right, guys. Well, thanks again for helping us to pull another show out of thin air. We did it. And we don't know what's going to happen next week, but something will happen next week. We will see you then. Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Oh.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night.
As always, it's a pleasure.
Earth King Boomy in the chat says building a turd boucher.
There's been a lot of good things on the chat line.
You gotta add that to the ending credits at least. The turd boucher.
Stories from the Trail is a production of thetrek.co. Zach Davis, editor-in-chief. Each episode is recorded in front of a live internet audience. You can be part of that internet audience if you care to join us on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern. There's a link in the show notes that tells you everything you need. Our music is by Lee Rosevere. Your hosts are Green Giant, Voldemort, and Reptar. You can find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those places. Just look for Stories from the Trail. It's probably us. The show is recorded, mixed, and edited by me, Gary Sizer, in Blanket Fort Studios, which is just me in my basement with a blanket over my head. Thanks for listening.
What is